what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Reverse 1999 reaction. Today we have Taxi Jam as requested by Miku. Might also be Maiku, whichever one's accurate. But this is the song they wanted me to get to, so this is the one I'm going to be listening to today. And without further ado, let's go! Loving the jazz vibe already. Very atmospheric on that too. Just the like siren wail in the background. I've come to not rely too much on the preludes for the main themes. But this is pretty neat. Oh. Ooh, okay. Ah, so it is going jazz. A jam indeed. Ooh, that's tasty. A little bit of dead space in that break there. Oh man, that was sick. That might be a first. I don't know if I've ever heard vocals used that way in this genre. Woo. Ooh. Take a step back. Little key solo. Ooh, a flute in there too. God, beautiful feathering on the kit. I love that triangle in there too. I've always loved that in jazz. It's honestly underutilized. God, I love that. That's such a cool break. Over to the ride bell. Woo. Ooh. Taking a step back again. Might just be a repeat from earlier. Sounds like it. Big finish too. Ah, what a fucking banger. Where has that been? Why is that in the game? Freeform Manhattan Jazz is not something I anticipated to hear from this game. Not because they don't have the means to go for that sort of thing. It's just not a genre that I ever anticipate out of a mobile game, really. It's one of those things where it's like, okay, well, this is a very specific niche of jazz, and there's plenty of other more popular varieties of jazz, but Manhattan Jazz specifically has this flair to it. For those of you who are old enough to remember Hey Arnold, you know this sound, this specific flavor of New York Manhattan Jazz that's just known to be in the basement, freeform style, couple of dudes doing what they love and just enjoying the process. And that's definitely the vibe I got out of the song. It definitely had that freeform energy, even though it definitely wasn't, and was more structured than a usual freestyle sort of jazz composition would be, because a lot of that relies on heavy solo usage, and those are usually made up on the spot, where for this one, obviously, you have to write what you're doing, you bring things back around, which you could do in real life too if you're playing with people who know what they're doing. But I love this flavor of jazz specifically. I don't know where it came from, but I have a deep love for this style. I am not from New York or anything. This doesn't have like any real weight on my own history as a musician either. A lot of other jazz styles do, but not this one. But for whatever reason, this one just hits different for me, and I've always loved hearing it, and it's just so good. Basically, every single thing about this song was done right. The drums were absolutely fantastic. Like, no notes. I don't know who wrote this. They've got to at least have somebody that they know who's a professional drummer who plays this sort of genre all the time, or they themselves have studied it so well, so painstakingly well, that they're able to nail the articulation of this specific type of jazz drum. Because when I tell you it is that specific, I mean it. When I mentioned the feathering on the kit, I meant that very literally and directly. That's a term that's used for drums. It's something where basically you're utilizing the dynamic range of the drums to hit softer and bring it a little bit louder, and utilizing doubles to be able to do that at times too. So like that's kind of a ghost note if you know that term, which is a little bit different. Ghost notes are just kind of like a quick second tap instead of the main hit that we all know from a snare. But a feather can be used in a more broad term and broad way, like utilizing it on the toms, using it on the bass pedal, especially in jazz. Feathering on a bass pedal is very popular. I do it all the time. I don't play a bunch of jazz, but I do have a habit from my old jazz days where I did it all the time there, and now I do it all the time in my normal play. It's details like that that make me hear this and go, man, this composer's gotta have somebody who knows what they're doing, or they're just very good themselves and knows exactly how to emulate that and get all of that down. But with the way it was played, with the sound that it had, I am a firm believer that this is not just, you know, like a drum kit VST in their DAW. This has to be an actual player. There's no way. If they did this in a VST, this has to be the most prolific VST user I've ever heard when it comes to the drums. I mean, some people are really good, don't get me wrong, but there are such fine details to this that they must have hired somebody, if not played it themselves. It's just too clean, you know? And there's a bunch of other stuff going on in here. There was a lot of sounds in this band that felt like they probably were VSTs, like a lot of the horns had that kind of digital edge to them. And usually things like that are a pretty dead giveaway when people are utilizing VSTs, which is fine. It's what they're there for. Use them if you need to, but at the same time, there's a significant quality difference between how the drums sounded and how the VST like synthy sort of stuff sounds. For drums, a VST can sound very similar to a real recording, because instead of utilizing a mathematical generalization of what that sound would be like they use for a lot of other instruments, drums tend to be just raw recordings that are then affected utilizing other math layers to help you adjust the dynamics to what you need, add reverb, stuff like that. But the feel is very different, and you can really feel the kit being played in this. So again, if this isn't, this is somebody who put in a lot of effort to get to that point, and man, they did a really good job of making it feel good. And I have to nerd out about it again, but that vocal break, what the hell? I mean, like, there is a weird thing about it, which is like this little stutter that it has near the end, where it's like climbing down from that note, and it's like kind of sliding into it, which is usually what you would do for that sort of approach, but it feels like there's just a chunk that's missing in there. It like skips a little bit, like a record skip or something, and that shouldn't be there. And I'm not sure if that was done intentionally, and if so, that's a weird choice, but it might just be because of the upload itself. Maybe something went a little bit wrong. It could be the person who edited this together, maybe they uploaded it incorrectly, maybe it's not in the original version. Anything could be true there, but either way, that vocal run was really cool. I love them using that as like the bridge to the next section. It's just, like, you could have done that with any other instrument. You could have done that on the trumpet, for example. It would have been, it's just, it would work, right? You don't have to go that hard, but choosing the vocal run to do that is super unique. Like I said, I don't think I've heard that done specifically for this genre before in a jazz approach in general. I mean, obviously jazz vocalists exist. They definitely sing with jazz all the time. It's not like that doesn't happen, but it's specifically holding off any sort of vocal work aside from that one bit. It makes it hit so much harder. I can't even tell you exactly why that is. I think it's just the fact that it does come out of nowhere, and it comes at a spot where everything else drops out, so it just kind of takes the center stage for just a moment, and it jostles your brain a little bit and kind of activates some neurons in there. It's just a really cool approach to utilize the voice like that and absolutely nowhere else. The intro, the prelude, again, was a little bit different, but once they kicked it into the jazz, I already kind of felt the jazz starting with how the song was feeling in that prelude version, and I'm like, okay, cool. So we're getting some atmosphere down. I'm not sure what the atmosphere of this is. I don't have any other context on this event. Contrast that to the Robusca stuff, which I was more aware of when I did the last boss theme, but at the same time, it set a mood that felt kind of exactly what this genre was. This basement Manhattan sort of feel. This is the sound and the atmosphere you would get a couple of decades ago walking down a very abandoned street in Manhattan and just kind of going, man, like the rain's coming down a little bit. It's not like it's a bright sunny day. It's nighttime and you're heading down to the basement venue just to listen to some jazz. And once you open that door, that's when the main song kicks in. A beautiful composition, and I love this. I, again, don't know where this came from, but man, they need to do more of this. This is a great genre to utilize, and I don't hear it enough, and I love that they include it here. But I think that's about all I'm going to say on this one, so thank you all so very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and you want me to get to something else from Reverse 1999, by all means, drop in the comments below, and I will do my best as always to get to those. But if you don't want to do any of that, maybe just want to follow me and support me for more stuff coming in the future, you know how to do all that, and I will see all of you in the next video. Goodbye!